station, Solid 100.9 FM, and every Monday, 10 to 12 a.m., we call it For Lovers Only, and it's a time where we share tips capable of taking your relationship to another level. And it's so glad to know that you're out there listening. And tonight we're going to be asking ourselves the vital question of how do we deepen understanding? How do we increase understanding? Every single day you hear of marriages hitting the rocks. You hear of relationships that will have maybe culminated into something more beautiful end up not going anywhere. And I think that one basic thing missing in most of our relationships right now is that it lacks understanding. And so we're going to begin to ask ourselves, how do we deepen understanding? How do we increase understanding? How do we make sure that we don't just love ourselves? Now, I don't know what you've taken note of the fact that sometimes there's relationships that break up, there's marriages that don't see the light of day, belong to people who obviously love themselves. They love themselves, they're crazy about themselves, but they don't understand themselves. And there are a lot of things you can do to people when you don't understand them. You could suspect them, you could doubt them, you could raise dust over nothing, you could misunderstand them. And at the end of the day, you will find out that you did nobody harm but the relationship you so cherish. The more you love people, the more you're bothered about what they do. But then I think understanding is one thing that we need to begin to build into the fabrics of our relationships. I don't know whether anybody else believe what I believe or agree with me. But then I think with more understanding, love will go farther than is going at the moment. Okay, so let's begin to really pay some attention to this. Of course, I'm going to be playing you one more song, and when I come back, of course, we will get the discussion started. I was chatting with a lady on WhatsApp this evening, and she's worried that she's about 26 and she's about graduating from university, and she doesn't have any real relationship, so to say. And then she's asking, what do I do? And she's still a virgin. And I asked her a question. I said, what do men need? And then she said, sex. I said, is that all? What else do men need? And you can't believe that it took us about 1 hour, and all she was saying is that they love care, they love this. I was like, you are speaking in general. Let's know exactly what you think are the needs of men. And it was surprising to me that she doesn't know what men need. Yet she's supposed to be in a relationship, and this relationship is supposed to possibly lead to marriage. According to her, she wants a serious relationship that will lead to marriage. Well, is she going to get that? Hopefully. But then I think it's common that we want something that we don't know anything about. Is it really true that all men are looking for is sex? Yeah, maybe the younger ones need the sex. But when you're looking for marriage, when you're looking for someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with, I think, yes, you could include sex in what you're looking for. But then I don't think that tops the charts. There are other things that a man is looking for. And sadly, I asked her, what are the 5 top needs of a man? And she doesn't know. Could that be you? Could that be a reflection of you? Of course, we get into the discussion, and then we will, because if you're going to understand me, you are going to understand my psyche, my needs, my way of thinking, my way of seeing things. And if you do that, then you're on your way to maybe, and I need to say that this is just the elementary understanding. We have not even gotten into the nitty-gritty. Most men don't understand women. Most women don't understand men. And sadly, a lot of us are not even making efforts to change that, to turn a new leaf. Uche Gabriel is my name, and this is the Rock Station. I'll play you a song, and when we come back, the discussion can get to the next level.
You placed gold on my finger.
Still for Lovers Only, right here on the station that rocks. And in case you just joined us, we're looking at how to increase and deepen the understanding we have in our relationships. I'm sure you must have heard or seen people who love themselves but who are finding it hard understanding themselves. And I think the bigger job is not in falling in love, but in understanding the one that you're falling in love with. Falling in love is the ABC, it's just the starting. But then when you are falling in love, you need to understand that this person you fell in love with is not like you. So the first thing we're going to begin to look at is understanding and celebrating the difference or the differences between you and this particular person. And the difference is at different levels. For instance, if you are relating with someone who is not from your social class, or who, of course, most people don't come from the same kind of background. So you have to put into consideration that there are differences in parenting, differences in family, differences in social class, differences in education, differences in gender, differences in various other levels of our orientation. And so, if we differ at these levels, we must be considerate. We must consider all of this in your attempt to relate to the other person. And it's not on one side. Now, if, for instance, you grew up in a place where you were allowed to express yourself, and the person you're relating with was muffled, was not allowed to express herself, or is still maybe too introverted, it's so easy to think that communication comes easy with everybody or for everybody. But you see, that understanding that we are different in our orientation and the way we see life, okay, that we have religious orientations that could differ, then the men differ from the women. So when you bring all these differences together, you see that relating with an individual is not easy. Sometimes we put everybody in the same mode, and we think that, okay, since it's a human being, it means that we are just the same. We are not the same. You must understand that. And then you must celebrate the difference. The difference does not make me bad. If I differ from you, I am not bad because I'm not like you. It's about variety, and they say variety is the spice of life. Monotony kills interest. But I think it's worrisome. We get to see people who like the way they are and who want everybody else to fit into the mold. The fact that you are the way you are and someone accepts you just the way you are should tell you that someone else is expecting that same kind of acceptance. So I think for us to deepen understanding, the first thing we need to do is to understand that there are differences. Difference at different layers, at different aspects. And then we must begin to accept it. Don't wrestle with it. Don't confront it. Don't feel bad about it. You will never be like me. I will never be like you. You will never come from my kind of family. I will probably never come from your kind of family. But there must be a way of understanding you. And that is to say, I must always bear in mind that this person is not like me. And I have to think from their own perspective. I just finished a course. And in that course, we were taught that nobody is wrong. Sometimes all we need to do is to shift our perspective to reflect what other people are thinking, what other people feel, what other people are going through. And then that is when you begin to understand them. Now, if someone is making an attempt to understand you, it's also important you don't think it's an easy job. It's not an easy assignment. It doesn't come cheap. It's one of the hardest aspects of relationship, and that's where a lot of people chicken out. That's where a lot of people give up, because suddenly the same person they were so excited about becomes difficult. But put it at the back of your mind that this person is not like you, will never be like you. So, do you love this person enough to want to know who they are? Now, I've always said on this show that one of the greatest problems we have in relationship is that we get into romance before we think about friendship. And the beautiful thing about friendship is that it comes with understanding. It comes with, that pure motive. I don't need to get involved, before I start studying you. I look at you, I accept you as a human being, okay, no matter how you are, no matter where you're from, no matter your parentage, no matter your class. When I've accepted you as a friend, and then we develop the friendship, which is the basis for any other relationship, whether you're talking about relationship within a father and a son, or a father and a daughter, or a daughter and a mother, or a pastor and the laity, whatever you're talking about, whatever kind of relationship, is supposed to be built on the foundation of friendship. Once you miss friendship, you've missed it all. You've missed it, and that's what affects every other relationship. So right now we've set the ball rolling. We must understand ourselves, and we must embrace the differences. And these differences form the problems we encounter. When we're finding it difficult to understand a particular person, it is because we are finding difficult to solve the puzzles that emanate from their differences. I'll play you a song, I will write back. Very soon I'll be opening up the talk lines, and don't forget you can reach us on 0902 311 109 or 0909 771 109. Stay with me. You see, the MC is my name.
Brought love like I've never known.